teach you to love the hair that God gave you.
Hi, and thank you for watching my channel. And today what we're going to talk about is alopecia. And I want to share with you a little bit of my story and my experience. About 8 years ago, my hair started to fall out after I had a horrible experience with this low-life scumbag African hair braider. And that's exactly what she was. That's a whole nother story. Maybe that's like a whole nother video. We'll talk about that later. But it was after my horrible experience with her. And after that, I did all of the wrong things because I had received all of the wrong information. I was told just to wait it out a while, and the moment some peach fuzz started to come in, that I could start braiding my hair again. Now, at the time, my hair was natural, but I was not taking care of it. I didn't know anything about using moisture or conditioning or oils or anything like that. I didn't know a damn thing about protective styles. The only thing I knew was to cover my shame the best way I knew how, with wigs, weaves, and extensions. Even after this nightmare experience, I still kept using these dangerous hair practices. So finally, after about 2 years into it, I didn't see any progress. And somehow, it finally dawned on me to go and see a dermatologist. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, well, why did it take you 2 years? And you have to remember that there are so many myths and there's so many lies out there, about black hair care and about what's safe and about what's not. And I was a victim of it as well. And the other thing that you got to understand too is that, like a lot of us, I'm also, you only know about your past experience, right? Because how many of us, we've had our hair fall out, right? I've had my hair fall out before, but guess what? It came back. You had the bad perm and you just gave it 6 months and it came back. So that's what I was accustomed to. And I need to say that right now. That's a difference between your hair breaking off, okay, and completely being bald. If it just breaks off, it'll come back. But when you're bald, it's a done deal, right? Okay, so that's why I waited 2 years, because who would ever think? Because you had a history, you mess up, you do something stupid, it falls off, it comes back. But this time, guess what? It wasn't coming back. Okay, so anyway, so I go to this first dermatologist. This was my first dermatologist that I went to. I've been to, I believe, a total of 4. And I will, in the future, in future alopecia videos, we're going to talk about all 4 of these jokers. But we're going to talk about this first one because, number one, he was the first one, but he was probably the worst one. He was a total and complete bastard. Okay, he had no tact, he had no compassion at all. And quite frankly, he seemed to be happy. He seemed to be getting off. He took great joy in telling me,
well, as far as your hair is concerned, I got some bad news for ya and some worse news for ya. The first news is that you got that traction alopecia. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, you got that traction alopecia. And the second news is that your hair's never coming back. And part 3 of that is there's nothing you can do about it. nothing. But you know what? We do offer some stuff here, but to be honest, I doubt you could afford it. And even if you could afford it, it really wouldn't matter because it doesn't work that very well on black hair anyway. Oh, I mean Afro-American. Which do you prefer? Either way it goes, it's not gonna work on you. I'm sorry. I am really sorry about it. But seriously, it's just done. It's over. It's not gonna work on ya.
and then I asked him, I said, well, what about all those ointments and lotions that I see for sale for baldness? What about those? And he told me, they're all bullshit. Don't you know that if there was a cure for baldness, that whoever came up with it would be a trillionaire? the little dermatologist, he wasn't quite done with his being a complete bastard. So he then tells me, the most important thing I can tell you when you leave here is that do not let people take advantage of you. Okay? Because there's no cure for baldness. They're just out to steal your money and they'll take advantage of you. Seriously. So the best thing you can do is don't do anything to your hair. Okay? Don't do any, just let it go. Just let your hair rest. I don't know why you people just can't let your hair rest. He did. He said, made some little comment like that, okay? But at that point, I was, I was so upset over the hair thing, the you people was nothing at that point. And there's nothing that can be done. Don't let anybody trick you. Don't let anybody scam you, okay? All right? But you know what? I think I got something for you. I think I have something that'll work for you. Yeah. And I'm happy. Really? You do? Like what? What do you have? It cost you about $500. I'm thinking, damn, $500. Well, I said, that $500, that is pretty steep. But okay, well, what do you got? Let's hear about it. And he starts laughing his ass off, and he goes, "See what I'm talking about? Gotcha." Okay, now that was a really shitty way for him to prove a point. But it's wrong because you're bald and you're desperate and you can't accept it. So of course you're gonna believe in some magical jelly beans. And right after he told me, yeah, make sure nobody tricks you, and there I was being tricked before I even walked out the door. And it's funny in a sick, distorted kind of way, but at the time when you hear that shit, it's not funny, But he proved the point about just how desperate you are, how badly you want there to be a cure, And we will get on another video. I promise that will be my next video about the products that are out there, about which are all bullshit, okay? And we will talk about those. Now, even though what the guy said was true, because nothing that he really said to me was a lie. The things that he said, they were definitely true, but it was how he said them. It was so heartless and just, here I am devastated. And he's making all these horrible comments. And that just shows you the lack of compassion that people will have for you, especially as a black woman, when you have alopecia, because the attitude is, aren't you already all bald anyway? And even if you did have your hair, isn't it so fucked up? Isn't that why all of you are always wearing wigs and weaves and stuff anyway? Now, and I'm telling you, that's what people think. They're not seeing it the way you see it, but it's devastating. It's a loss. Who would have thought that a visit to the wrong braider would have caused me so much grief? But it did. Listen to me, people. It only takes one time, you hear me? One time going to the wrong person and letting them fuck up your hair that can permanently ruin your hair for the rest of your life. One time, that's all it takes, okay? And when a woman loses her hair, it's a very traumatic experience. We're talking about a major loss here, right? And when you're a black woman and it happens to you, most people have very little pity for you, for example, if you don't believe me, watch the Judge shows. I love Judge Judy. Okay, I like Judge Joe Brown, but watch when a black woman gets on there and something bad happens to their hair. I think I've only seen one time that they ever got any compensation for it. In real life, somebody jacks up your hair, you're usually screwed. People kind of, they won't have much pity for you. It's kind of like this attitude of, it's only hair. Let's cut the shit here. It's not only hair. The hair industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They make big off of women, but especially off of black women.
There is big business in black hair. The mass market black hair product industry is worth an estimated $185 million. $185 million. $185 million.
So, for someone to nonchalantly blow off your alopecia as a no biggie, get over it, That type of attitude is just plain wrong, you know. I watch YouTube videos all the time, and I see women who get upset on their videos because they can't make a braid out work. Okay, you hear them, hair fail. Okay, well, you know what? So please don't tell me that when you find out that your hair is gone forever and not coming back, that you wouldn't be upset too. You would be devastated. It is so important to grieve the loss of your hair, the same way you would the loss of anything else. Okay? There are definite stages of grief. There's sadness,
Damn, damn, damn!
anger,
Stop it! Suck your fucking eyes out!
denial,
Are you happy here, honey? Are you finding what you really want?
I'm somebody else. I'm white. White. White!
bargaining,
Oh God, I beg you, please. If you make this water go down, I will sit at your feet and I will serve you for all of eternity. I'll adopt a Somalian kid, or I'll work in Calcutta, or I'll just please just make the water go down.
and finally acceptance.
Damn, damn, damn!
You have a right to be sad and to be upset, regardless of how your alopecia happened. Maybe you did play a part in it. And it's very important for you to forgive yourself. You know, you may have only been operating on the misinformation that was given to you at the time. And there is so much misinformation out there. But now that you know better, you can do better. I was given this diagnosis of alopecia about 10 years ago. And I would be lying to you if I told you that I was totally in acceptance of it.
I went from happy to angry. Skip said, now I feel like kicking his ass.
Some days are better than others. But if this hadn't have happened to me, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you. To be a voice of real information and not misinformation. You hear that? Real information and not misinformation. You know, when you're diagnosed with alopecia, you never know if it's going to just stay isolated in that one spot or if it's going to keep spreading. Okay? Now, when I was in the bargaining stage of my hair loss grief, I promised God that if He would just save the rest of my hair on my head, that I would make it my mission in life to teach others about safe hair care practices. The reality is, the hair I have left, it's growing, but at the same time, the baldness is still spreading. So much for bargaining, right? But no worries. The mission will continue anyway. Thanks for watching, and there will be more alopecia hair videos in the future. Thanks.
We teach you to love the hair that God gave you.
$185 million. Estimated $185 million.
Damn, damn, damn!